to doctor. They are 12 years old, 9 years old, 6 years old, never go to doctor without dentist, sorry. But no doctor, and no medicine, chemical medicine at all. We treat natural way of healing. So they are very nice advertisement for us to sell our products. Because they can prove, you know, we never need doctor from our products. So such a big advertisement like this. And big demonstration for the local people too. We send them to kindergarten at local place, and they go to school too. And they never get sick so seriously, you know, like a flu, and they've got, but you know, they cure easily, like than other people, other kids. So they knew, you know, these 3 kids proof like that things. Oh, I can't imagine. You know, local people say, oh, they never go to doctor. That's unbelievable like that. But I can't sell ex-local market, not so much still. And so after I set up my farming and self-sufficiency lifestyle, so as you told me, I start teaching to the people. So, and start teaching, and we did a PCBC, inviting Trish and Joe. Yeah. More than 30 of people had come in. And that was my dream or promise. 10 years later, I will do PCBC in Japan, so please come to me. So, dream comes true like this. That's good. And honeymoon too. Yeah. Yes. After PCBC. And I'm teaching for the university, local university. So I go to university to teach students. And they come to my place and work together and learn more practical things like that. And we've got a participant from ARI, one graduate from Indonesia. Sam, he's here? Yeah, Sam. Was last year at my place. So he was from Liberia in Africa. And he taught us a lot of things, of course. And I was a roofer, now I'm a host. And I've got lots of roofer now from overseas, from Japan. Unfortunately, not last year, but like this. And I did a big tour for them to introduce permaculture idea. Every time I got roofer, I did a big tour for them and spread the idea. Then I've got the day. So I was making miso March 11th, just before earthquake. And actually, we've got a film crew just before 30 minutes. So I can show you this short film. So this is traditional way of how to make a miso. Oh, not traditional way, this is plastic, sorry. But now, you know, almost factory use machinery for smashing, and we make a quite nicely bowl and hit them, get out here, extra air. Now is the time to switch off. It's not so serious because we've got harder earthquake quite sometimes. But this time was so long, not shaking so hard, but so long. So, just 1 minute later, the electricity was off already. Sorry about messy houses. She's very old. Can you feel a little bit? After this earthquake, 30 minutes later, we've got tsunami at the coast area. So there was plenty of time, not plenty, but enough time to run away from it. But we had an earthquake the day before too. So it was quite big too. And it didn't happen tsunami the day before. So people, some, maybe half of people think about, oh, no tsunami. Every time like that, no tsunami. So, but some of people run away, rush to high area. So lots of people has died, but it depends on how prepare for the emergency. Of course, unlucky people. And that season was still cold, and snowing. And some of them died by too cold that after tsunami, not just tsunami explosion. And there, biodiesel adventure, they have a great car with, they can produce biodiesel fuel at their car. So they travel all over the world, like a Siberian, Sahara Desert. They can drive 3,000 kilometers without plug. So actually they are expert of like this emergency. And of course, government try to help the refugee people with asking army like this. But that works for the public refugee center like this bigger scale one. So people who come to here. But there are so many smaller community around the coastal areas and around the city, which they have no support from government. So I heard that news from radio. We had a small radio with solar panel, tiny small solar panel, and hand operation we can do. So we had a 3-day off about electricity. So we only use, and the biodiesel adventure people can get the information from internet plug into using inverter from car. But so we thought after big earthquake, still shaking for the day, for 3 days, even the midnight. So our kids cannot sleep so long. Me too, of course. But the shaking in the midnight is not just shaking ground. Was feeling like shaking my mind, our mind and our heart from higher. I'm not sure, but I was feeling so long. Oh, what can I do for like this situation? What do I think about? Like that feeling. So after a big earthquake, after 2 days after earthquake, we can't go. Anybody can't go to tsunami refugee people because of control by police and army. But later on, they can't say so because they couldn't say so because they need lots of help because it was huge trouble up there. So we decided to help them because we had transportation can afford. And we had plenty of food for emergency, like rice and miso and water and old clothes. So we can do something. So anyway, we go like this. Rices, rice. Well, we have plenty of stock of rices to sell, actually, but not time like that. Hundreds kilograms of rice we had, and tons of miso. Because miso we make miso every year, and we have to keep them 2 years before to sell. So we have plenty of fresh one and older one, so we can sell. And we did research by internet, and where is isolated, bigger scale refugee center is okay, but smaller community, very isolated places, so hard situation. And of course, lots of people try to help them, but there was no fear at all. So this is, sorry, we can't sell in Japanese. So a month that was like this, for a month. We can't get any petrol or diesel fuel from shop. So this is like after peak oil, huh? So we already have the experience. So we can't go anywhere. But people rushed to get a bicycle to the old local shop, to get bicycle to have shopping, and lots of family have a walk with kids and people. We never see in the local community walking by shopping by walking people and shopping by bicycle. Never see in local area. They use every depot, of course we by car, but after the peak oil, we should do that, sure. Yeah, like this. But people, almost people try to get much earlier, pushing, like this. All the night, they are waiting. Lots of people just waiting with heater, so they have no more fuel. So they just let their car away, on the road. So that causes more panic, The kilometers long to get there for months. And of course, there is no food in the supermarket like this. No fresh food, no noodles, no rice. Only little thing. Can you see this one? Sweet coffee, sweets, juice, alcohol. We don't need like that now. Emergency. So there is some still left over, but no food at all. But we can take with us fresh egg, meat from freezer, fresh vegetable from our winter stock. We dig into ground, not to freeze. So we can get the vegetables and eggs, because I sell my product to Tokyo for organic market, but I can't sell because transportation is not working. So I send them. And there was a great shop after, maybe like after peak oil. So they produce tofu and dry tofu without any fossil fuel, just using firewood, traditional way of doing for them. Because that's why they don't want to lose their taste from traditional, good quality of taste. They don't want to lose. So they are continuously doing like this method, pounding method. So local people knows, they went to there to get fresh tofu still just after earthquake. Firewood, old style, and firewood. And then this is bucket for our okara. Okara is after squeezing into the milk, we can get for feed for chicken and pigs. So we know, of course, they can sell. And we know they have oil. You know what I mean? We are mining oil to the shop, not into ground. Right? For this car. So we can get waste oil from a shop and pour them and make a biodiesel, or we can have a more simple system to use straight vegetable oil operation too. So we could go afford to coast area. We went to there every day. The distance was about 70 or 80 kilometers, but we go around, so 100. So maybe 200 kilometers per day we have to go and back. But still plenty of oil. And 1 week later, we asked two friends to get help more, because we need help more. We need car without fossil fuel. So we asked two friends who have a SV, straight vegetable oils operation car and biodiesel car. So some of them are coming to help us with lots of waste oil, full of waste oil, and other stuff too. Actually, this is new oil, just out of date. That's great. And the kids was spring holiday, so they can help. Actually, they could help to filter them. Just simple filter. And another good car, waste oil. And lots of volunteers come anyhow, with car or some very long way from. And we got a operation, have a time to go, and we did a long meeting, what their needs, because needs change quite often, 2 days after, 3 days after, 1 week after. So up to midnight, we did a meeting and through a computer and send a Twitter or email to the friends, Permaculture people, anybody who can help, send something, because we can't get all sorts of things for we need, the refugee people needs. We are talking about our basic needs to design our permaculture property or our life. We need water, we need food, we need energy, we need heat, of course. So we can't buy any, even a charcoal and portable gas and battery, we can't buy any, all sold out. So, but in Tokyo or Osaka, there are plenty still. So we asked two friends to send or to come get them. So networking was so important. And for us, and actually there was no food and no shop in coastal area. Of course, they are gone. So we have to take our food to go and back. So, but we have plenty of store, rice. So this is quite enough for us. Seaweed, coronation, I don't know. And rice and pickles in there. So it's enough for us. So every morning, early morning, my wife Junko is making maybe 20 of them for each blackberries. And 2 weeks later, we've got transportation. So lots of friends send us some goodies for the refugee people and collect and send to them, like shoes. They just run away from. So without any shoes or just sandal, and get wet. So they have no shoes and no underwear and any sorts of things. But they are quite shy, We've got good, very shy. So if we went to there, please say what you need and what you want to have next 2 days or something like that. They always say, elder people say, we enough already, we enough already, like that. So very shy. Or they know, they used to live like this simple lifestyle, like a 60s, 70s. So they knew a simple lifestyle. So, that Nicholas told us, after the peak or economic crisis, maybe our situation will down, the start of economical growing. It means in Japan, like a lifestyle 1960s. So they know like that lifestyle, so they never complain about it. But young people, we need games, and lots of things request. So we decide not to give the things directly. I just make a free market for them. Means free, and they can take on their need, by their need. So then they can take. Must be nice. And this was a basic lunch and dinner for them for about a month and in refugee center. Only one rice bowl, not 1 month, maybe only a week like this. Only rice one bowl and some one bun and miso soup is quite simple. At that time, they need actually lots of elder people of refugee people. There are so many elder people, so they need vegetable actually. They don't need any eggs or fish. They need actually fresh vegetable. So I asked to Permaculture friend, organic friend, whole over the world, not whole over Japan, and they send us a lot. So organic and not organic, including something like not so good, but still good for them. And you may know, one biggest city in the Iwate coastal area, Kamaishi City. So in Japan, it is said like a miracle of Kamaishi. Because in Kamaishi City, they never lose any kids by tsunami because of good training. Every year, every once or twice in a year, they did a good training. If we've got tsunami, we have to run away from and go to hillside area. So they did. Their kindergarten teacher did like that. So they never lose. But that was such a hard story. Hard. Because inside was like this first war. You know how you got information about that. So they need help to establish temporary kindergarten. They could find hillside at hillside area, so it must be nice to help for them because kids are really priority to help them. So we decided to get, and actually this futon, we had so many futon, old futon, because we held a PCDC at my place. So we collect old futon for the accommodation. So it was plenty of them. So I just gave them. And actually, my youngest kids is a kindergarten kids. So kindergarten kids help kindergarten. And actually, some kids can't take lunch for their lunch at that because they are in a refugee center, so there is no rice and extra things. So the priority was to feed them, to supply, not to feed, to supply them a lunch, good lunch for them. So the teachers asked us, can you make a temporary kitchen for them? And oh, maybe, because I've got lots of offer from a permaculture builder from Tokyo and something like that. So I called them, and I talked with teachers how much we need, what facility we need, and they went back to Tokyo and get second-hand facility like this, quite nicely. And they made good kitchen at 1 week, in a week. And kids can get good lunch just after 1 week. That's great. Of course, we supply some vegetables and our eggs and rice and miso, so at least they can have a lesson. And actually, the most hardest people who have like emergency like this is weaker people, of course, like handicapped people, and for kids who are having allergy, special allergy. We can supply only ordinary products like, or much worse, having a preservative and of course not organic, So in the emergency, we have to keep longer one. So we only supply preservative, including preservative. So allergy kids, we have so many people now getting chemical sensitive syndrome. We call CS. So much hard situation with allergy. So we asked to organic pastry to make a good one without allergy for like these kids, and so give them. That's was very difficult to find out like that things. And of course, we had an accident, serious accident. On the other hand, we had accident in Fukushima, so we had a big problem of radiation, of course. In Iwate Prefecture also, we are 200 kilometers away from Fukushima, but still we've got radiation. That depends on wind. So we used to against nuclear power, of course, permaculture people, of course, we used to against, but we couldn't stop them. And there are lots of friends who are going to the alternative energy skills. So we decided to make a fund for the refugee people to give the small solar panel kit to get light on, because main town in main place beside the main road can get electricity after a month or so. But even isolated place has no electricity after a month too. So we set up a project to supply small solar panel kit. And they know which is good, you know, huge polluting nuclear power. We can get smaller one and not so expensive and much delightful. And with community, people can manage like the smaller panel and smaller kit. We can manage. And ordinary temporary house, they moved to temporary house from refugee center about 3 or 4 months later. But again, this is not so good. Ordinary temporary house has lots of no good things, artificial things, and very isolated from community, and lots of rubbish after using only 3 or 4 years go to rubbish. And it takes a long time to set up. People need a temporary house much earlier. But, you know, they have to get the materials from Tokyo or other parts of Japan. But there are good temporary house made by local timber, by local government, was quicker than our national government has done. Much quicker and much nicer. Can people live like this? It's quite nicely. So we are going to support this one to put the solar panels, solar hot water system, because the refugee people have to pay their running cost. They don't have to pay for the house, but they have to pay for it. We had a so cold winter. Last winter was so cold, this winter was so cold. So they pay for a lot of cost for the heating. So we want to cut them. And this is the biggest wall for the tsunami. Biggest wall, bank wall for the protection for the tsunami of the world. So about more than 20 meters, so long, by huge concrete. But it not working. Huge infrastructure was not working at all. But there was wisdom from our sister. So this point, this stone, this is memorial stone to tell us you can't build a house or live lower than this point from our sister. So people used to move to hillside after tsunami before, but they moved into flat area again, little gradually because of economical reason or convenient. So we had such a mess again. If we live hillside, all the people just getting a knowledge from ancestor, maybe not like this big mass. So we want to share like this wisdom with other people, and we are going to suggest and we in a much more friendly, eco-friendly way of living, and temporary houses and eco-village, to introduce eco-village idea. We had a forum, small forum, and invite the permaculture people or local forum. So his fellow professor, only one professor can teach permaculture in Japan officially. officially or formally. And he is Lim Kyung-soo from South Korea. He's already developed one eco-village in Korea. He got around permaculture in Australia. Anybody know him? No. So we invite them to our region and to talk about eco-village idea. So we want to give the local government pressure to set up more better situation. And like this, they'll have a session, forum. And actually, Dr. Itonaga is concerning permaculture development in Fukushima, a small village in Fukushima, before the tsunami, the accident. So try to have a permaculture ecology center in small village in Fukushima. But that small village had a big damage from radiation. Here, maybe you've got news about our government miss. Not miss. They never told us. Seriousness, yes, sure. Yeah. And they had already set up permaculture garden and permaculture houses for promoting alternative technology and alternative living, way of living for the village people, sharing traditional knowledge like this, and nicely set up like this. Small passive solar house and small permaculture garden, but now they can't use. Just a year ago, they did set up it with local government support this project to do permaculture idea. That's so sad. And the village used to be quite neat and good skills and self-sufficiency lifestyle is still there for local people, but now all gone to the far away from this village. All has gone. So they can't manage. You know, our landscape is managed by man, not nature itself. We have to manage them to keep like this landscape. So this is very hard for the local and feelings to have to go away from their land, strong connected land. And people are living like this temporary house and very isolated. So, for elder people, isolating is big stress, Not can talk to his neighbors because the temporary houses never think about their community used to be. They just selected, automatically and go into. So, no, not good community, very hard to organize. But we support. Actually, we have to support them too. So, we support. And to have a small organic garden can do anything because elder people need to move. If they sitting or sleeping all the time, they go to sick easily. Now having like this situation, a lot, even a tsunami. So we set up organic garden to do. And yes, and another main issue to support Fukushima's people, we invite kids to far away from Fukushima to have a relaxed time. Because kids in Fukushima, they can't play outside. only in a hole like this. And they can't touch soil, not at all. And they can't play like this, you know. So we organize spring camp, summer camp, winter camp for the Okinawa or Kyushu or Hokkaido to get them and let them relaxing. Because kids is easy can get affected by radiation than elder people. So we have to save or support a lot for the kids. And Mr. Itonaga, Dr. Itonaga is having a plan to have a temporary village for them to have a good lifestyle than like such a not well-organized community with temporary houses. So they try to have a temporary village. So now struggling with local government and national government to set up like this kind of eco-village idea. I hope we can do like this for the local people too. So it is hard, but we have a hope like this plan to can get a new lifestyle for them. Because again, I want to talk about the problem and the solution. You know, the creation and destruction is happen at the same time, our body and the ecosystem, as you know. So we had a huge destruction now in Japan, tsunami, but we have to get the creation for the new hope, for a new world. And yeah. Yes, I have to do that. Yeah, actually, I put my farm, name of my farm is Ureshipa Moshiri. Means nature itself. I've got this name from Ainu language. You know, Ainu means a human being, that's like other indigenous people. And for Ainu people, the nature itself is just reality. Every living thing is grow each other, not competition, cooperation. So for Ainu people, nature itself is like that. So I really impressed this world. So I choose this name for my farm, or for our farm. So now we, permaculture people in Japan, has a big trouble because some people have to go away from their land, and of course I might do that if we got a serious. But still, I can say we have a possibility to change, and we want to change from this disaster. But I don't want to change with fear, from fear, because no, I want to change with joyful things, delightful. So we have to choose the new way. Even now we permaculture already has done, but we have to get much more progress for the new change. So that's my hope now. Thank you very much.